They buried him. They literally tried to bury the American Nightmare. And what does WWE do? They book him against the most dangerous man in professional wrestling today without any stipulations, no disqualifications protection, and absolutely zero regard for what happened to Cody Rhodes just weeks ago. Let that sink in. The Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, the man who has ended careers, hospitalized legends, and redefined brutality in this company, gets a one-on-one match with an injured Cody Rhodes. And you are telling me this is fair? This is the match that has everyone talking, and for good reason, because what we witnessed on January 16th wasn't just a match, it was a statement, a war, and possibly the beginning of the end for one of WWE's biggest stars. Before we dive into every single brutal moment of this instant classic, drop a comment right now and tell me, do you think WWE is purposely trying to destroy Cody, or is this the ultimate test to prove he's worthy of being called a main eventer? Because after what I'm about to show you, you might change your entire perspective on what's happening behind the scenes. The energy in the arena was absolutely electric. From the moment Jacob Fatu's music hit, you could feel the temperature drop. This man doesn't just walk to the ring, he stalks it like prey. At 6'1" and 300 pounds of pure Samoan aggression, Fatu represents everything dangerous about the Bloodline's new era. His face paint tells a story of warriors, his eyes tell a story of violence, and his track record tells a story of dominance that hasn't been matched since his debut. The Tribal Chief's enforcer has been on an absolute rampage, dismantling everyone put in front of him with a viciousness that makes even The Undertaker's legendary streak look tame. We're talking about a man who moonsaults from the top rope at 300 pounds, who hits hip attacks that sound like car crashes, and who legitimately makes grown men question their career choices. WWE Universe, let me ask you this, and answer in the comments. What active wrestler on the current roster do you think could actually survive a genuine street fight with Jacob Fatu? I'll wait. Then Cody's music hit. Kingdom, that familiar anthem that has become synonymous with hope, legacy, and the American dream. But something was different. You could see it in his eyes. You could see it in how he carried himself down that ramp. This wasn't the confident Cody Rhodes who points to the crowd and soaks in their energy. This was a man walking into battle knowing the odds were stacked against him, knowing his body wasn't 100%, knowing that one wrong move could end everything he's worked for. The commentary team, Michael Cole and Corey Graves, immediately addressed the elephant in the room. Cody was wrestling with injured ribs, a consequence of the brutal assault he suffered at the hands of the Bloodline just 2 weeks ago on this very show. Medical staff had advised against this match. His wife Brandy had publicly stated her concerns. Even Triple H, in a rare public comment, suggested maybe Cody should take time off. But Cody refused. Why? Because that's what Rhodes men do. They finish the story no matter the cost. Here's a question for the longtime fans watching. Drop it in the comments. Do you think Dusty Rhodes would be proud of Cody's decision to fight hurt? Or would he have told his son to live to fight another day? Because what happened next makes that question even more complicated. The bell rang, and Jacob Fatu didn't waste a single second. He charged across the ring like a freight train, and Cody, showing that veteran instinct, sidestepped and sent Fatu's shoulder first into the ring post. The crowd erupted. Maybe, just maybe, Cody's experience and ring IQ could overcome the size and strength disadvantage. He hit a quick disaster kick that rocked Fatu backwards, followed by a snap suplex that actually got the Samoan werewolf off his feet. Cody was moving, he was fighting, he was showing why he's a 3-time world champion. But then it happened. Fatu caught Cody mid-springboard and in one terrifying moment of strength transitioned into a Samoan drop that shook the entire ring. The sound echoed through the arena. Cody's injured ribs compressed against 300 pounds of impact, and you could literally see the pain explode across his face. That's the moment everything changed. That's the moment Jacob Fatu smelled blood in the water. What followed was systematic destruction. Fatu began targeting those injured ribs with the precision of a surgeon and the brutality of a warlord. Body slashes in the corner that left Cody gasping for air. A running hip attack that folded the American Nightmare in half.
every move calculated, every strike designed to break Cody's will and his body simultaneously. The referee checked on Cody multiple times, asking if he could continue. At each time, through gritted teeth and sheer determination, Cody refused to quit. Let me ask the Cody Rhodes fans something, and be honest in the comments. At what point does courage become stupidity? Because watching this match, that line became very, very blurred. Around the 8-minute mark, Cody mounted what can only be described as a superhuman comeback. Fighting purely on adrenaline and the energy of 15,000 screaming fans, he hit a beautiful disaster kick, followed by a Cody cutter that planted Fatu face first into the canvas. The crowd was on their feet. Could this actually happen? Could Cody overcome the odds once again? He called for the crossroads, his finishing maneuver, the move that has put away giants before. He lifted Fatu, or at least he tried. The injured ribs betrayed him, his face contorted in agony, and Fatu easily escaped, shoved Cody into the ropes, and on the rebound, super kick. But not just any super kick, a super kick so devastating that spun Cody completely around before he collapsed to the mat. The referee immediately checked on him, but Fatu wasn't finished, not even close. This is where things got controversial, and I want your take in the comments. Should the referee have stopped this match? Because what happened next was hard to watch, even for the most hardcore wrestling fans. Fatu pulled Cody up by the hair, looked directly into the hard camera with those cold, merciless eyes and mouthed words that sent chills through the WWE universe. This is for the Tribal Chief. He positioned Cody for his devastating finishing sequence, the moves that have hospitalized opponents before. A corner hip attack delivered with such force that Cody's body went limp against the turnbuckles. The crowd's cheers had turned to concerned silence. Then, Fatu climbed to the top rope. All 300 pounds of Samoan destruction balanced on the top turnbuckle, and the entire arena knew what was coming. The moonsault, the move that defies physics, the move that shouldn't be possible for a man his size, the move that has ended matches and careers alike. He leapt through the air with shocking grace, rotated his massive frame, and came crashing down across Cody's already destroyed ribcage. The impact was sickening. Medical personnel immediately started moving toward the ring. The referee dropped into position for the count. 1, 2, 3. It was over, but the damage had just begun. Jacob Fatu stood over Cody Rhodes, victorious, dominant, and completely unfazed by the destruction he had just caused. The Bloodline's music hit, and members of the faction appeared on the entrance ramp, acknowledging their enforcer's work. But here's where things took an even darker turn, something WWE didn't expect, and something that has social media absolutely exploding. As medical staff attended Cody, as the referee checked his vitals, as the concern in the arena reached a fever pitch, Roman Reigns' music hit. The Tribal Chief walked out, titled over his shoulder, flanked by Paul Heyman, and the look on his face told the entire story. This wasn't about competition. This wasn't about titles or rankings or the next pay-per-view. This was about complete and total dominance. This was about sending a message that nobody, absolutely nobody challenges the Bloodline without severe consequences. Quick trivia for the comments. How many people has Roman Reigns' Bloodline faction taken out of action since he became Tribal Chief? Seriously, count them up and drop your number below, because I think people forget just how dominant this faction has been. Reigns stood at the top of the ramp, raised his finger in the iconic one gesture acknowledging Fatu's work, and then, in a moment that will be replayed for years, he pointed to Cody's broken body and simply shook his head. Translation, you should have acknowledged me. You should have stayed down. You should have known better than challenge the Tribal Chief's kingdom. But here's what makes this story even more compelling, and why this match matters so much more than just a regular SmackDown bout. Cody Rhodes is scheduled to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble in just 2 weeks for the undisputed Universal WWE Championship. This match was supposed to be Cody's final tune-up, his chance to build momentum heading into the biggest match of his career. Instead, it became a massacre, a demonstration of power, and possibly the beginning of the end of Cody's championship aspirations. Let's talk strategy for a moment, because this is where it gets really interesting. WWE booked this match knowing Cody was injured. They knew Jacob Fatu is a wrecking machine. They knew the optics would be terrible. So why put your number one contender through this kind of punishment right before your biggest show of the year? I have 3 theories, and I want you to tell me in the comments which one you think is correct. Theory 1, WWE is building sympathy for Cody by showing him as